Okay, working on a 07 Impreza, not a WRX, so no turbo and cool stuff, but it is still an EJ25. You can see that right down there. So common, one of the more common guys. We're doing head gaskets, head gasket, and also oil pan. I'll show you that in a minute because it's lowered. It's got an aftermarket exhaust on it that's not really made for this car. I'll show you that also. Well, here's what happens when you lower your car too much. You get some pretty serious oil pan damage. Lucky it doesn't have a hole in it, although it does look like it's seeping a little bit, so we'll see. Scraping here as exhaust hits. It almost needs some kind of, if he's going to ride it this low, it needs some kind of protection. Then got an aftermarket exhaust from here back, but it looks like it's not the right part because it's about 4 inches too far forward. So we could talk him into putting a spacer right here to move it back, which would also move it back here. We might be able to hit that hanger there, and then this hanger would hit also. So it might be worth talking to him. Right now it's got some stuff holding it up that's not exactly the way I'd like to see it. As folks want him to have a reliable car to go to college in, so I'd hate for that to hit something and just get yanked off. Anyway, we're going to pull this exhaust. To do that, well, first we're going to drain the radiator, then we're going to drain the oil, pull this exhaust off, do the oil pan, then we'll go up top for the work on the head gaskets and such. Well, it's pretty easy there. You take, there's 3 bolts there, 3 bolts there, 3 bolts there, 3 bolts there. The whole system kind of drops. I loosened up the back there. I loosened up some stuff, so the whole thing would drop. That slides out. You don't forget to disconnect your 2 oxygen sensors in the engine compartment right up by the left side. I'll show you that in a little while. He had some loose bolts, so hence you can see the leaking exhaust both sides. Couldn't hear it over the awesome exhaust though. Yeah, anyway, now we're gonna go ahead and drain the fluids and carry on with the head stuff. I think I'll do the oil pan last. I'm not sure. Okay, so while we're under here letting that drain, which this is kind of a little thing there, you put a little hose on that. If I can get this up here. Put a hose on that guy right there, and then you loosen that to drain the radiator. It just kind of pours out. It's slow, but it's neat. Anyway, well, that's draining. Disconnect this guy. That's your electric fan, and then your other electric fan connection is right here. Once that gets drained, we'll go ahead and disconnect. We don't have to disconnect that guy, do we? Yeah, I don't think we do. I'll take it off just in case, but then we'll take this guy off, and then we should be able to set it down after we do the oil. Alright, so I didn't film it, sorry, but these brackets, there's one here, single bolt. Once you take those off and get this guy out of the way, take the radiator hose off, that core, the radiator core just pops out. There's no other bolts. There's little pins. This is where those things go. There's little pins on the bottom that hold it in place. And it just pops out. It's real easy. Then you take these covers off. This one's slotted here on the alternator. It goes over to here, so you don't have to take this bolt out right away. And then you take this guy off this. So then I like to take the main bracket off because it lets me see these bolts down here. You can just take this pump off to get it out of the way because the bracket doesn't have to be moved for the intake to be removed to get to the head gaskets. So I'll take this guy off, I'll swing this out of the way. Do the same thing with the air compressor. The nice thing about Subaru, take these guys off, you swing them out of the way, you don't have to bust the system open or lose any fluids. So, and I will be taking the alternator off just because it's connected to everything else. That's why the battery's disconnected and the alternator cable's over here. Anyway, we're just slowly getting down to it. Should have the intake manifold off here shortly. I'll update you then. Alright, intake off. Things that I missed. This connector, I missed that connector, it was a pain. And this guy I forgot to take off, I knew better. Unplug this guy, which goes to your breather. And this was a little sneaky one there. It's underneath, but it's easy to get to. Tried to take as much wiring as I could so that I wouldn't have to mess with, you know, disconnecting stuff from the bottom of the intake. Yeah, here's the intake with all the parts and pieces on it. Pretty straightforward. It's almost really easily serviced. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take a couple more components off and then start on the front end. I'll get this oil guy out here and then start on the front end, get the timing belt off and look at the idlers and the tensioners and make sure everything's good. Something I forgot to mention, the easiest way I found to break the crank pulley bolt loose is to put a socket on there with a breaker bar, turn the motor over, and it just works. Sorry, it seems hokey, but the problem is you can't stop the motor from turning over. Although I hear there's a spot back here where you can put something in to stop it, but you also can't use one of these guys because it just won't fit with a condenser in there. So I heard there's the inspection window back here, right here. There's a way to block it from turning. I've never done it that way, so this just works so good. You just hit the starter, breaks the bolt loose, and then you can take it off. I unfortunately forgot to do it, so I had to set the manifold back on to plug it into the electrical, and so I got a little gas when it cycled the fuel, but that's fine. Alright, 6 bolts on the valve covers. Got those off. Put a little pan underneath just to catch a little bit of oil. Well, I'll try to catch a little bit of oil. I see I missed some. And we're going to pull these, there's now 6 head bolts off. We're going to pull those off. I set it at top dead center before I took it apart so we can put it back together easier. We're going to reuse the tensioner and all the pulleys, but we got a new belt. Alright, so jack it up. Pull the bottom 3 head bolts out, both sides. And then lower it down, take the top ones out, and you should be good to go. You can see it's already leaking antifreeze, so yeah. Next step. Alright. I got these loosened up. They're ready. You can see the head's ready to fall off now, off the top. Top. Guy should fall off here any minute. Pull them off, do some cleanup, and see where we need to go from there. Hopefully everything's good. We'll check for warpage, and then clean some surfaces. It'll be ready to go back together if there's no warpage found. Well, there is one side, head off. Cylinders are pretty wore. This thing's got 150,000 on it, but you can barely see the hone marks in them from factory, I guess factory. One thing that concerns me is these are not MLS gaskets that came off. I think someone might have been here before. It's hard to tell sometimes. They're just standard gaskets. Nothing special about the valves. A little crusty in there. Clean that up. You can see where somebody's hit it with a wire brush. So they have definitely been here before. I didn't see it with the light real good. Let's see if this one doesn't look so bad. Yeah. You can see the original decking. And then you can see there's some other side marks where they hit it with a wire brush to recondition it. Alright, so as I mentioned earlier, part of this job was to replace the oil pan. So we got the oil pan off. We had to take the pickup off in order to get the oil pan. And I've got the, you can see right here, I've got the the stand lifting up a little bit so that I can get some clearance. It's easier to get those back 4 bolts like that. And the new oil pan is right here. And I'll show you the old oil pan again. Right here in the light is completely caved in. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, it's a wreck. Anyway, I'll do a little bit of cleaning up and throw her back together. Hopefully. Yeah, pretty easy. Excuse the heater running, keeps me warm. But there's the new oil pan. Unfortunately on this one, I don't know if you can see them down in there. Little bits of metal, bearing material. Pulled this out of the pickup when I was cleaning it. More bearing material. So might need a rebuild on this one pretty soon. As soon as it throws the rod, Rodney the rod, as they say. Yep. Anyway, pretty straightforward. Gonna let her back down and start working on the top side. Alright, so got the gasket on there. Surface is all clean. It's a multiple oil steel MLS. New head bolts. I'm gonna wait. I got the threads lubed, but I'm gonna wait to lube the washer and the head for torque purposes after I get it in, so I don't have to get it all over my fingers. It's gonna get bad anyway. But surface is cleaned up. It used to have a composite gasket on there, so I spent a little bit of time cleaning that up. But one with MLS, hopefully it'll seal properly. Usually the surfaces are supposed to be a certain smoothness, which would imply taking it to the head shop, but I was limited on what we had, time and resources, so doing the best we can. Alright, so we got the heads back on. It's one of those weird torque tightening sequence, so you tighten them to 22, then 51, then back them off 180, then back them off 180 again, then tighten them again to 51. I'm sorry, no, then you tighten the center ones to 25, the outside ones to 11, and then you tighten them in sequence 180 each. So to do the 180 thing, one trick that I learned is if you see right here, there's a black line on the head bolt, so you just take a Sharpie, put you a black line on them, and then you don't have to worry about looking at your wrench and how many times you did this or did that. You just watch that black line, pull your socket off, look, and then put them back on. So you pull them 180, and it's real easy to see. The black line should line up with the way you put it on. Only time it gets into a problem is when you're really tight and you know there's a bolt way back down there, and it's hard to see. You got to get a mirror, put a line on it, and watch it. So that's the hard one on these guys. But anyway, so we're going to do that torque pattern and then continue assembling. All right, heads are both torqued on. Just takes a little bit of time. Take your time, do it right. The new belt, timing belt is on. I guess the easiest thing to say is the trick is with these is you line up your mark. That also should line up there. A lot of times the new timing belts have these marks on them, but Pulley's got a mark right there. Right there, see? And it lined up with there. This pulley has a mark right here, orange, and it lines up with the groove on the top, which is right here. Mark, mark. Now this guy's got, it's a little bit harder to see, but there is a little notch right there. Mark, and this notch right here. Okay. Now what I do is I loosen this bolt, this pulley, don't take it off, loosen it, and it lets that slop down a little bit to get this loose. And I loosen this one to pull it out so that you route it all there, and then right here is where you work to tighten the, to get the belt on the pulleys. This is rounded, so it slides up over there, and with this out a little bit, it lets you kind of work them in together. It's just a pain. Once you get it, you're happy about it. Make sure you check all your marks. And what I like to do also is hand turn the motor over full rotation, just to make 100% sure that, because now it's in time, so it doesn't matter, make 100% sure that your valves aren't hitting or anything. You can really hear it when you turn it over by hand. Well, I always hate it when people don't show the actual initial startup, but I see why, because you get all excited to start it up and they're like, oh man, I should have recorded it. But other than it turning over a few times because no fuel in the lines, it started up pretty fine. Sounds good. I don't like the exhaust on it, but it sounds like we sealed up a few of the small exhaust leaks. Belts seem to be working good, no slippage, and doesn't look like there's any leaks. So we'll see. We'll let her warm up and top off the fluids, take her for a test drive.